loves you. And all my returning babies, what are y'all good? Multiple kisses. Mama loves you, my little jellyfishes. My little jellyfish. Okay, we start our session off with a prayer. It's not a religious prayer, it's just a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and to bring us together as a community and as a collective. And because consent matters, to have your permission to say a prayer. Okay, come. Let me see these faces. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Relax. Dear universe, and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest self and validate information for our highest good only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out to us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am. Ashe, 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 ashe. Okay. So, I'm just going to start by just checking out your energy. And we're going to be working through some pretty deep, heavy stuff. But it doesn't have to be overwhelming for you. You can just kind of sit back and enjoy. Just relax. So I'm just going to start by just reading what's going on. So take a deep breath in. Exhale and release. How about another breath if you want to? Okay. And release it. Okay. So I get a lot of different feelings at one time. There's this like softness. The best way I can describe it is littleness, like cutesy kind of energy. But then surrounding it is just like a lot. And the a lot just depends on what you're experiencing recently. So the core of you being this kind of very sweet energy, but almost feeling forced to have to be hard or have to be on guard, I think is probably the best way to put it. So I'm gonna work through that. Now, karmic curses or any kind of a curse in general, I don't really want you to think about it in a way of like somebody out there put something on me or somebody out there put something on my family. I want you to think about it more of like momentum. Okay? Because even when we look at karma, the concept of karma, it's not really what goes around comes around. It's more of a neutral energy, as in whatever the momentum is, the momentum flows. So if we look at it like that and we remove the judgment, it's easier to let it go. So we want to just release little parts for my little jellyfish. Release little parts that just need to be let go. And sometimes energy. So what you do with that energy, especially when you have access to this knowledge or you are deeply connected with your physical body, that shapes what it is. And so a lot of people try to control other people by getting them to be afraid and like, don't question, don't ask, don't, I'll interpret for you. When it's not about that, it's about connecting with yourself. And a part of that process may or may not be connecting with a divine or an unknown. That's your business. So we're just going to take it off layer by layer and see. I am not a doom and gloom reader or healer, okay? It's not that difficult. Messages don't come up. It's more of like, the message is what you make it. And I'm always trying to get my little babies to remove themselves from fear. Fear is a normal human experience. But if every decision that you make is fear-based, then it's going to be a very uncomfortable life. So I try to show you things as they are, as we're just like unraveling this here, so that you're not afraid, that you see things as they are, and that you respect and you honor your feelings. Did that make you feel upset, angry, happy, sad, nostalgic, bitter, longing, excited? All of these things that show up in your experience, okay? So we're moving the energy, we're moving the momentum, and so let's just shift it. I think you're pretty clear, at least now in your life, what you would want your life to look like, or what you at least think you want your life to look like. So since we have that, what I want to do here is just shift that energy to pour into that, not to be pouring into fears or pouring into the past. So I'm just going to shift that into there. Just take some time. Hey, you could just breathe through this. Just breathe through it. It can be a lot, so just breathe through it. Now, most of the time when people are working on karmic curses, they are thinking of, where did it start? Where did it start? I will get to that, but I don't think you should focus on that. I think you should just focus on how to process, because sometimes people can get so caught up in the what is this that they skip the whole, well, what do I do next? So I'm going to do the do next, and then we'll do the what is this. Doing next is just letting it go. Like I said before, as it comes up, it comes out. And it's going to feel uncomfortable because the way that that momentum or that energy is cycling in your life, it's familiar. Even if it's not working for you, it's familiar. So when you break from that and you disconnect from that energy, it's going to feel unfamiliar, and you're not going to like that, even if it's better for you. That's why people get confused and they end up coming back, or they just feel like petrified and they stop completely, because it's just an adjustment. Your energy has to get into a new cycle that's better for you, or at least you at that time in your life. And so that's just breaking and letting go. Breaking and letting go. Breaking and letting go. Just breaking and letting go. Breaking that and letting it go. Letting it go. Letting it go. Letting it go. Just breaking and letting it go. Letting it go. Letting it go. Okay. Breaking and letting it go. Letting it go. Letting it go. Good job. Now, where did it come from? Many things. Many things. You know, as we come into the space, some people who believe in past lives feel as though we incarnate together in groups. And it doesn't always have to be your immediate family. It could be friends or people that you're around that are a part of this kind of energy that moves. And the reason why they think that way is because there's an idea that instead of our soul being so distinct, that it is just this thing that exists forever. Instead, they think of the soul just being a portion of a bigger thing. Let's call it a big soul, or let's just call it a bigger thing. And so those energies that are just moving in a certain way, conversations with yourself, is graceful understanding, healing. Like, you are everything that you want someone else to be. You are everything that you're looking for outside of you. Not that we don't need people. No one is an island. We all need each other. But you're not looking for someone to give to you more than what you can give to yourself internally. There are different dynamics on the outside of which how you want to navigate things, that's fine, but someone cannot be your self-confidence. Someone cannot be the place where they are just responsible for your emotions or feelings, and you shouldn't be that for someone else. So I think that the way that we confuse codependency with depth, I think, is not good for us, because everything or every dynamic you have with another person should have an element of freedom. You all should be choosing to be there, not because of obligation. The obligation is the cherry on top. You're there because you want to be there. The obligation or the responsibility is something that you enjoy having, not that you're there just because, you know. My mom used to say, if you're not married, you're single. I was like, that's crazy. I was like, that's insane. I want you to know that that's insane. Just like it's not insane. I'm like, I get the message. I get the message. But marriage should not be something that forces you to do right by a person. You know, the qualities of doing right by a person should be something that you have within you for that person, and then the icing on top is the marriage, is the relationship, is these things that you want to do, you're excited to do, not like this gonna keep me on the straight and narrow. And the same goes for all of the other dynamics. If you have like a best friend and you know you make excuses just because they're your best friend, or a family friend, or even siblings or co-workers because they're on your team, and so you know, all those things that show respect